how to not panic in the ocean. That's one of the most common questions I get or comments I get in my DMs. Someone saying that they had a scary experience, they nearly drowned at their local break and they've never been the same. So if you've been rocked by the ocean, you gotta do something about it. I always tell them that if nothing changes, nothing changes. Meaning if you're not doing anything to make yourself better and stronger, if you go back out there knowing and having that memory of that bad experience, you're gonna bring that with you and you're gonna panic even quicker. So it's important to do something about it. Make yourself stronger at home, on land, before you go out so that you know that you have what it takes to survive these things. So these 3 tips will go miles to get you back out there with confidence so you surf the best swells and catch the best waves. Number 1, it's so easy, you can do it right away, is when you hold your breath, don't make the pain face. Don't tightness in your chest, neck, and your face, because your nervous system is connected to your whole body, connected to your brain, so it sends signals to your brain based on your body language. I remember there was a really good TED Talk a few years ago about a girl talking about power posing and saying if you stand out, puff your chest, chin up, hips, hands on the hips, it can actually like releases more serotonin, gives you more confidence. There's a lot of science also behind just actually the actual act of smiling. The muscles in your face will actually make you feel better, right? So if you're sitting there frowning or rubbing your eyes or any of that kind of stuff, those physical triggers actually create a different chemical release in your brain. Exact same thing happens when you're holding your breath. So if you're making the pain face, it actually elevates your heart rate and it releases adrenaline, so it burns oxygen super fast. Now you can do this at home in your training as well too, if you're doing breath hold training. And even if I'm doing low oxygen training when I'm doing workouts, I will sometimes still catch myself making that pain face in the middle of a really tough set. And if I relax my face, instant relief. It's so much easier. So when you're held underwater and you don't make that pain face, you're gonna have so much more oxygen and you'll be a lot safer. Number 2 is familiarity. So this is practice. So when we talk about a breath hold, I talk about it, I describe it like this. So you have 3 alarms that tell you that you need oxygen. So this line here represents a breath hold. It's a timeline. This is 0 seconds. This is when you first hold your breath. This is when you black out. Along this timeline somewhere, everyone's different depending on your fitness levels and your amount of training. You get 3 alarms at certain points. The very first one is a mental alarm. So at this point here, you have no reaction, right? But then somewhere along here, you'll get the mental alarm. So there's just thoughts being like, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit different. I can tell that I'm gonna need oxygen soon. That is not that dangerous. It's super easy to get to that point. Everyone's been to that point if you've surfed. The second one are physical alarms. Now these ones are a lot less familiar. There's things like the tightness of the chest and neck, and those you feel more often, but there's other ones, especially diaphragmatic contractions. So they sound like this. So it's your body's automatic, unconscious reaction trying to get oxygen in. So if you've never felt these before and you feel them for the first time out in the water, you're gonna instantly get the third alarm attached to this. They'll be right on top of each other. And the third alarm is emotional, so that's fear. So if you have never practiced holding your breath at home and you've never been to this stage, and the first time you get it is when you're being held under by a wave, you're gonna instantly get those fear alarms. So the way to solve this is something that I call emotional weightlifting. So it's practicing hitting this emotional alarm in the safety of your own home over and over, so you become familiar with it. And the cool part about that is you realize that your physical alarms actually come around 2/3 through your maximum breath hold. So if you get these physical alarms and you can prevent from getting the emotional alarms, you still have about 33% more breath hold to go. And if you know that through practice, it'll make you that much stronger. So emotional weightlifting works like this. So you can bypass the physical alarms and you can do low oxygen training. So just as a really quick, easy example, if you exhale, hold at the bottom of your exhale and say just do a bunch of body weight squats, you will get that urge to breathe like that, like within 5 to 10 reps, and you'll get that nervous system response. Your nervous system doesn't know where the danger is coming from. It just knows that you are in danger because your oxygen levels are going down, 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 and down. It sends real emotional fear responses to your brain. You'll actually feel scared. So if you constantly do that and that's what I call emotional weightlifting. It's all about familiarity. It'll give you that extra 33% of a breath hold time. And then also, when you are held underwater and you have that familiarity, you know that you have more, you're less likely to panic. The third one, and the biggest, the most important one, is stressed breath holding. Now, typically, all the best breath holding practices have come from freediving. I've learned so much from freedivers. I got nothing but respect for freedivers. They are incredible, and I love freediving myself. However, when they do these extreme breath holds, they make sure that they're in a relaxed state. They slow their heart rate down as much as possible, and then they hold their breath. When you're surfing, you're gonna be forced to hold your breath with a peaked heart rate, maxed out adrenaline. Sometimes you won't be able to take a full lung breath full of air. You might be impacted by the wave as you're supposed to be holding your breath. So I teach stressed breath holding. There's 3 ways to do stressed breath holding. The number 1 is environmental. So that's things like, it can be temperature, like holding your breath in a cold shower. That's tough and that's cool. But the best one is gravity. So that's balance. So holding your breath while you're off balance is insanely hard and super beneficial, and really has a lot of carryover into actual surfing and when you're in a wipeout too. And then the second one is physical stressors. So that's holding your breath on low levels of oxygen. That's great. Holding your breath while you're exercising, while you're walking, while you're lifting weights, that kind of thing. The third one is emotional stressors, and that kind of comes baked in with everything like I talked about. So with the low oxygen, holding your breath on an exhale triggers that emotional response. So if you can combine all 3 and stress your body, so if you can hold your breath while you're balancing, while you're doing a one-legged squat, so you're working out on an exhale, that's huge. That's way more realistic, and probably even, that's way harder than holding your breath being caught inside on a regular day, right? So if you're pushing your limits harder, you're gonna meet and exceed the needs you have in order to confidently surf those better swells of the year. So, super simple stuff, right? Don't make the pain face. Get familiar with the sensations, the emotional alarms. So do emotional weightlifting, and then do stress breath holding, surf specific breath holding. This is everything I teach in my weaponized breath course, plus more. So stress, all this surf specific breath holding, how to be confident in better swells, hold your breath longer, have more endurance. It's the only surf specific breath training course out there that teaches all this stuff, and I want you to try it for free. So the best thing about breath training is it works on everyone because you have the mechanics for it already. Your body wants to naturally go to its most optimal state. So when you do these breathing exercises properly, the results are guaranteed and they're very, very fast. So I don't want you to take my word for it. This stuff is awesome. I want you to feel the results before you decide if you want to invest in this thing. So you can try the whole system for free. All you gotta do is send me a direct message. Tell me you want to try the breath training system, and I'll send you the link for the free trial. And that's it. Thanks a lot for watching.